What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Nikolai Espresso, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. This one is going to be just a regular discussion video regarding Call of Duty. We did a couple of these recently, guys. Have killed the support on them, so thank you guys for that. So, that said, in this one, we're going to be talking about the biggest obstacle that I feel Call of Duty faces now and then also moving into the future. And surprisingly, it's not going to be something that a lot of people may think of, that being supply drops or other things like that. Instead, it comes to a more general perspective, more general in layman's terms, in terms of thinking about the future of Call of Duty and things alike. So that said, if at any point in time in this video you have an idea or something you want to jot down or mention, go ahead and do it down there in the comment section down below. Looking forward to hearing all the different perspectives here on this. But additionally, if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing to stay up to date with everything Call of Duty related. But in this one, we're going to be talking about, once again, the biggest obstacle that I feel Call of Duty faces now more than ever. And this is something that, once again, I know there's a lot of different issues a lot of people will mention. One of those biggest ones being supply drops, and while that system itself is in its entirety something that I don't really subscribe to, it definitely is something that is problematic in a sense, but I feel like what this topic is just slightly more pressing, that being the necessity for annual releases of Call of Duty. Since the beginning in Call of Duty back in 2003 on the PC, there has been a title or a major expansion for the franchise every single year. So from 2003 to 2016 and moving forward into 2017, there's going to be a Call of Duty title. There has been and there will be continuing that trend for as long as the foreseeable future allows. So that said, it is something that for the time being Call of Duty has done an alright job, and certainly at some points outstanding job of keeping the interest, the public appeal, and things like that all at the peak highs in which the franchise totally thrives off of this. Some of those notable highs being Modern Warfare 3, COD 4, Black Ops 2, things like that. Black Ops even probably one of them, but in recent years the peak probably was Black Ops 3. Advanced Warfare was awesome, but a lot of people were really on the edge about it. Black Ops 3 was a step down, but people really like Treyarch, so that peaked up a little bit in sales, and then Infinite Warfare, we're kind of in a little valley, no doubt, here with this recently, but it is something that the biggest concern that I think that I've seen from the community, maybe not as of recently because it's something that is still rather newer to the way that Call of Duty works, but the change up isn't exactly what people wanted. But for years, people said that Call of Duty was just a copy and paste. It wasn't anything brand new, anything innovative, or anything like that. And this is now starting to come back to that because 3 years of the movement system is definitely something that really right now is a little bit repetitive. And of course, a lot of people have proclaimed Infinite Warfare to be a copy and paste of Black Ops 3. So if there's any more time to see a copy and paste outcry, it's probably now more than ever in recent years. But that said, annual releases make this a little bit tougher because the turnaround time for things definitely is a lot smaller of a window if there's something that is being worked on in a year but already in 2 years of development. Things like that, it makes it a lot tougher. Such examples being the fact that people really wanted boots on the ground Call of Duty, but Infinite Warfare was already something that was in development for 2 years and people really didn't like the outcome of that now. But that said, it's not really on the developers' end, it's the fact that there's annual releases. This game was already too far gone by the time that it was announced that you could just turn it around, things like that. So annual releases with this development period definitely gets a little bit trickier. Additionally, it starts to strain on the creative aspect as well too, because if you think about what Call of Duty has done in the past 13, almost 14 years now, it's pretty much done everything across the spectrum. It's done World War II, it's done modern times, it's done near future, it's done far future, it's done Vietnam, it's done all of that stuff. And as a result, it starts to strain on what has been done and what has not been done. A lot of the realistic fiction is already exhausted, that being World War II, Vietnam, that era, and then modern times as well. And therefore then into the future, it's something that the creative possibilities are limitless because the future hasn't happened yet. But that also brings up the fact that people don't really like the future games, but if we go back, it's something that then again creates that copy and paste mentality where people will get upset with what it is, so it just starts to strain on that creative process, and having annual releases just therefore makes that time frame that you have to maybe get as much out of it as you can for a longevity, it crams that into a lot smaller of a window and something that condenses that time frame for maybe how long it will last overall. Now, I don't think this will ever actually be the case where we stray away from this, but it is something that then now becomes a very big obstacle in terms of the immediate future for Call of Duty, I think, because right now, 13 years in, there's been a lot done, and whatever the future holds, I'm sure will be great, but it definitely does create that, once again, creative problem and obstacle for which we can overcome as a community and as a game. It's something that is quite strenuous. When you look at games like The Last of Us, Fallout, BioShock, Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto, stuff like that, it definitely is something. Those games last ages, but the dev time is also way higher. There's a lot more content that comes out in between the years off and something like that, but those games are heralded as absolute masterpieces because the time goes into them. There's a lot more time on the discrete minor details, things like that, and it's not an annual release. And I know this is almost like apples and oranges because an FPS game that is prided on multiplayer, the story almost now comes secondary, is definitely something that does not compare to a game like The Last of Us where the story was absolutely magnificent, but the development turnaround time is something that is still comparable, and as a result, those cult classics are definitely something that go down in the history books, and I'd love to see Call of Duty do that, but right now it is once again just a little bit tough to see what the future holds without being branded as a copy and paste no matter where you go. So right now annual releases are a thing that's happening. I don't think that it's going to stray away from that, and honestly, as a COD fan, I'm not anything that's against this, but definitely from an outside perspective, taking any bias that I have here out of this. Once again, I love the Call of Duty brand, I love the people at Activision, I love the people at all the studios, especially the people that I've had the chance to meet and talk with. They're amazing people and incredibly talented individuals, but it is something that taking any bias out and then taking myself and looking at it from an outside perspective, Call of Duty limits itself by the annual releases because it does create so much content in such a small window of time that it almost spoils us, and to the point where we use up anything that we have to our advantage. And if you maybe think of it as like, say, a pool, think of the Call of Duty idea pool as a literal pool. If you keep taking pails of water out of it, eventually you're gonna run out of water. So that's something that I hope it doesn't come to that anytime soon, because once again, COD fanboy here, but it is something that is almost where I'm at in my mind, where I can totally see it is thriving still, it is still making a good bit of money, but in the long run, I think it could be elongated much more to be a lifelong franchise than, say, maybe a 20-year franchise. I don't know, that's where I'm at though. I just wanted to share this here with you guys, just some random thoughts that I was thinking about recently, and I decided, let's put it not on pen and paper, but instead in verbal use and put it in a video for you guys. Let's discuss it as a community. So that said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up here. Once again, leave any thoughts that you have down there in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback here on this one. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new to stay up to date with everything Modern Warfare Remastered, Infinite Warfare, and of course, even Black Ops 3 content. Got some cool stuff coming here on the horizon, so hopefully you guys do enjoy, hopefully you guys stick around. I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Mine has been Nikolai Espresso. Take care, and peace.